In this particular lecture, let's actually learn how to add commas to these particular values which we have. So in order to add commas here, there's a special library, or you could say an app in Django which you could use, which is called as Humanize. So it comes built in with Django and you don't have to use pips to kind of go ahead and install it. So in order to install Humanize, you would need to go inside settings.py file of your project. And in here, inside the settings.py file, you simply have to include Humanize inside the installed apps. So right up over here, right after the my apps, you need to say django.contrib dot, and just as we have this admin, auth and other apps here, I would say Humanize. And what this Humanize does is that it kind of humanizes the data which we have on our application. So for example, if you want to add commas to certain numbers, you could do that using Humanize. So once you have added that, then you need to go to the file where you want to use Humanize. So in this case, we want to use Humanize in the index.html file. So I'll go right up over here. So inside the index.html, right after the load static tag, I have to load the Humanize tag by saying load Humanize. Once we do that, we are pretty much good to go. And now once we have loaded the Humanize tag, we simply have to go ahead and go to the value which we want to humanize. So in this particular case, we want to humanize these values, which are the amount values. So for humanizing them, you just have to go inside those values. So I'll go to expense amount, and in here I have to use this perpendicular line, and I have to say int comma. And what this does is that it's actually going to add commas to the integer value which we have. So now if I go back and hit refresh, for some reason it's not working. So let me check what exactly happens. Okay, so let's debug this error, which is no module named Humanize. Let's take a look at this in the browser. So let's search for this error in a new tab, and let's see what exactly went wrong. Okay, I think we made a silly mistake of not adding a comma after this one. So I need to add a comma, and once we do that, the server is back up and running. I could hit refresh, and as you can see, now the comma is added up over here for $1,000. So let's try adding an expense which costs around, let's say $100,000. So let's say the expense is rent, amount is $123,000, category is business. If I click on add, as you can see, that amount is added up over here and the comma is added automatically. So just as we have added a comma here, we could also add a comma to the final total amount as well. So in order to add the comma to the total amount, I simply have to repeat the steps which I have done for this one. So I just have to say int comma for that value as well, which is the sum value. So I'll add that up over here, go back to the browser, hit refresh. Okay, so I guess we need to visit the URL, and as you can see, now we have a comma up over here as well. That means the values which we have here are now humanized. Now you could also humanize the date values as well. Like for example, instead of getting the exact same date, you could use the humanize library to kind of say that this expense was made 2 days before, 3 days before, so on and so forth, by adding different filters over here, just as we have added the end comma filter. But for now, we are going to leave it as it is. So once this thing is done, we are pretty much good to go. We have also calculated the total as well. But now let's say you want to display the values, which is going to be the total for the entire week, the total for the past 30 days, and the total for the past 1 year. That is the total expense for all of these periods of time. In the next lecture, let's learn how we could do that in the backend inside Django and display them up over here inside this template. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.